Alright, so I've been doing FAL gas plug conversions for a while, and oddly enough, this is the first time somebody sent me some inch ones. So a guy contacted me and said, can you do an inch conversion? And I was like, sure. I mean, there's a constriction here someplace we can modify, right? It's a little bit interesting the way this works, so I'm going to try to get some video of this just to explain it, since I tried to explain the other mod. I'll try to keep it short, Mark. If you put this in and rotate it to the position where gas is flowing, and then you look in the end, the first thing I thought was odd was, if you notice up there where this cut is, this cut, it doesn't do anything, right? There's no way. All it does is make sure that part of it totally does not obscure this hole. It doesn't cover that hole at all. And I always assumed, like, it doesn't get near it. So anyway, that's a little weird. But that's not the business end that we're talking about, right? So the business end we're talking about is gas getting from the barrel up into this and then out into the piston. So if you look down in there, and I don't know how well this is going to come out. Let me try to zoom maybe. Yeah, okay. You should be able to see the hole there. And what's interesting is, right, all they've done then is make this whole cut here on the front of the thing, and the gas just rolls on out. So what that tells me, though, is that I may be able to only weld up, kind of like to where I've made these black marks here, because that's the only part. The hole is right here. So don't need to weld all the way out to the end of this. They've just done that because the jig, I'm sure it's easier for them to do it that way rather than drill a hole through here. But I only need to weld up this part. So the only thing I'm trying to puzzle out now is whether I'm going to put any donor material in here and drill through that, or whether I'm just going to try to weld this valley up until I feel like it has obscured the same amount of that port as the mods I make on the metric FALs, which is this size here. I think it's a 5/64 or so. So I think what I may try to do is just that, is just drill this and a little bit further. So I'll weld this until I've covered up as much as I think I should, and I'll probably just take a round file, like a chainsaw file, and then just carve out what I think it would be the same as the 5/16 drill bit. Okay, so here's what we've got left after the welding's done. So I just welded over this nub on the back, do you remember, on both of them, and then the gap. I think this will be good enough. We'll have to see after the grind happens whether that's a sufficient amount of material welded out of those two gaps. Okay, I'm not sure how well I'm going to be able to show this, but if you see down there at the bottom of the gas plug, the welded up section, there's now like an oval section against this side wall. That's all we've done, is open up a channel. Let me pull this one out, it's a little more obvious on this one. Really tight. So what this does is you get this piece, there we go, this little bevel cut here is what you were seeing as that oval against the side wall. Sorry, might show better there yet, right? So all we're trying to do is get as little of this open to the hole that comes up through the gas block to the gas plug area. That hole's pretty big, and we're just trying to limit the amount of that gas that gets through and makes it to the piston face. So I'm not going to do this any further. I'm going to send this back to Hector. Hector, coming right back at you, and I'm going to include a file for him to use. So basically he can shoot this thing, and if it doesn't have enough gas, I hate to do it this way because it's prone, you have to go through more jams, but if it doesn't have enough gas, he can just keep removing material here until he does have enough gas coming through to the piston face to get the actuation that he wants, and not anymore. That's it.